He thought it was just another routine patrol with his loyal K9. But when the soldier discovered a crumpled SOS note in the empty parking lot, everything changed. The desperate scrawl of a 4-year-old girl led to a race against time and a shocking truth no one expected. Sergeant Cole tightened his grip on the leash of Rex, his loyal German Shepherd K9 partner. The dog's ears flicked at every sound, alert yet calm, matching the soldier's steady footsteps. This was supposed to be a quiet day, just another routine patrol through the small suburban area, far from the chaos of his military missions. Together, they had built an unshakable bond. Rex could sense his moods, his fears, and even his silent thoughts. A gentle breeze carried the faint scent of asphalt and distant pine trees, and for a moment, everything felt normal, peaceful, safe. But soldiers never fully relax. Cole's eyes scanned the rows of parked cars, the empty walkways, and the quiet storefronts. His instincts whispered that something felt off. Rex paused suddenly, nose twitching, tail stiffening, and Cole immediately noticed the change. In their years together, he had learned to trust that signal. What seemed like just another uneventful patrol was about to turn into something that would change their lives forever. The sudden sound of a soft, pitiful cry pierced the quiet air. Cole froze, his heartbeat quickening. He glanced at Rex, who was already pulling forward, nose to the ground, following the source of the sound. The soldier tightened his grip on the leash and moved cautiously toward the far end of the parking lot, where shadows from the buildings stretched like long fingers as they rounded a row of cars. The scene that unfolded stole his breath. A little girl, no older than 4, stumbled across the pavement in a torn pink dress. Dirt smudged her cheeks, and streaks of tears carved lines down her face. She clutched a crumpled piece of paper in one hand, while the other trembled in the air as if reaching for help. Rex's ears perked, and he let out a low, protective growl, not at the child, but at the tension that hung in the air, the sense that danger lingered nearby. Cole crouched slowly, keeping his voice gentle. "Hey there, sweetheart, you're safe now. We've got you." The girl hesitated, then took a shaky step toward him. She lifted the paper with trembling fingers. "Please help," she whispered. They said to give this to a soldier." Cole's hands shook slightly as he took the crumpled paper from the little girl. The note was smeared with dirt and faint traces of what looked like dried tears. He unfolded it carefully, the edges tearing under the pressure, and scanned the shaky handwriting that sprawled across the page. "Help us. Trapped. No food, no water." Cole's chest tightened as he read. An address was scribbled at the bottom, barely legible, but it was enough. He glanced at Rex, whose tail stiffened, sensing his partner's urgency. The soldier knew this was no coincidence. Someone nearby was in desperate need, and this small child had been their last hope. He crouched to meet the girl's eyes, his voice soft yet steady. "Sweetheart, where is your mommy or daddy?" She sniffled and wiped her face with her sleeve. "They're stuck in the house. I ran because the dog barked, and I had to find help." A lump formed in Cole's throat. He looked around the deserted lot, the sun casting long, lonely shadows over the asphalt. This wasn't just a rescue anymore. It was a race against time. With one decisive motion, Cole scooped the girl into his arms. "Rex," he said firmly, "lead the way." Cole strapped the little girl safely into the passenger seat of his military jeep, her tiny hands still clutching the wrinkled SOS note. Rex leapt into the back, ears perked, eyes sharp, already aware that something critical was unfolding. Cole's pulse quickened as he started the engine, the rumble echoing across the empty parking lot. The address on the note was only a few miles away, but every second felt like a lifetime. The girl's quiet sobs filled the vehicle, punctuated by the occasional sharp bark from Rex, as if urging them to go faster. Cole's gaze darted between the winding country road and the trembling child beside him. "Hang on," he said gently, his voice carrying the weight of both comfort and urgency. "We're going to find them." Dust rose behind the Jeep as it barreled down the gravel path toward the listed location. The sun dipped lower, painting the horizon in streaks of orange and crimson. With each passing moment, the sense of dread grew heavier as they rounded a bend. Rex suddenly pressed his nose against the window, letting out a deep growl. Cole followed his gaze and froze. Up ahead, An old farmhouse stood in eerie silence, its doors swinging open in the wind. Cole slowed the Jeep, gravel crunching under the tires as the farmhouse loomed ahead. The front door creaked in the wind, swinging open just enough to reveal a shadowy interior. Rex's fur bristled, and he let out a sharp bark, his instincts on high alert. Cole parked a few feet away, scanning the silent surroundings. No movement, no voices, just the faint rustle of leaves and the distant caw of a crow. He glanced at the little girl. Her wide eyes shimmered with fear. That's my house," she whispered. "Mommy and Daddy are inside." Heart pounding, Cole grabbed his flashlight and gestured for Rex to follow. The German shepherd leapt from the Jeep, muscles taut, every sense focused. Together, they approached the porch, the boards groaning under Cole's boots. "Hello?" Cole called out, his voice firm but cautious. "This is Sergeant Cole with the U.S. Army. I'm here to help." Silence. Then, a faint thump from somewhere. Inside, Rex growled low, his body coiling like a spring. Cole pushed the door open, the hinges screeching, and the beam of his flashlight sliced through the darkness, revealing an overturned chair and scattered belongings. Cole's flashlight beam cut through the gloom, revealing the chaos inside. Broken dishes littered the floor, and a trail of muddy footprints led toward the basement door. Rex sniffed the ground, his body rigid, tail low, and let out a deep, warning growl. Cole's gut tightened. He motioned for the little girl to stay on the porch while he and Rex crept deeper into the house. Every creak of the floorboards echoed like a warning. He reached the basement door and slowly pulled it open. A wave of cold, damp air hit his face, carrying the faint sound of whimpering. Rex bounded down first, barking sharply. Cole followed, his heart hammering as the flashlight illuminated the cramped basement. Huddled in a corner were a man and woman, the girl's parents, pale, trembling, and barely conscious. Their hands were bound, and next to them sat a half-empty jug of water. "Help, please," the father rasped, his voice raw. Cole rushed to their side, quickly cutting the ropes with his pocket knife. The mother clutched her husband's arm, eyes wide with relief and exhaustion. "They locked us down here," she whispered weakly. We thought no one would find us." Rex pressed close, whining softly as if reassuring them they were safe now. Cole quickly radioed for emergency assistance, his voice steady but urgent. Within minutes, the distant wail of sirens broke the eerie silence, growing louder as police, cars, and an ambulance tore down the dirt road. Rex stayed close to the family, his intelligent eyes scanning the shadows, unwilling to let his guard down just yet. The paramedics arrived and immediately began tending to the weakened parents, checking vitals and wrapping them in warm blankets. The little girl ran into her mother's arms, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I found help, Mommy," she whispered, her tiny voice trembling. "Rex and the soldiers saved you." Cole watched the reunion with a lump in his throat. He crouched down to give Rex a firm pat. "You're the real hero here, buddy," he murmured. The German shepherd wagged his tail, letting out a soft, proud bark that as the family was loaded into the ambulance. The father gripped Cole's hand. "We'll never forget this," he said, voice thick with emotion. "Thank you, both of you."